your questions now at 855-LAW-SHOW. That's 855-LAW-SHOW. You can watch The Law Show live online at thelawshow.com. Now, here's America's attorney, Brian Dailey.
That's America's personal injury attorney for you there, Mr. Scott. I am Brian Dailey, America's personal injury attorney, America's personal injury lawyer, here answering all your legal questions at 855-LAW-SHOW. That's 855-529-7469. Here with Matt Catchick, answering questions about family law, criminal law, and about probate he does, things like that. So if you have a legal question about any area of the law, now's the time to call. You can also tune us in on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. where we are doing a syndicated radio show called The Law Show on thelawshow.com, and you can see us broadcasting all over the country. So hopefully you'll join us either today or tomorrow, and when you have a legal question, whether we have the show going or not, please call me at 855-LAW-SHOW. That's 855-529-7469. And you can email your questions to questions@thelawshow.com or to brian@thelawshow.com. And I will get back with you. And I want to send out some special thanks to my lovely wife, Jill, who is, I love those angel wings. She supports me 100% in doing what I'm doing. I actually am working 7 days a week. We have a really nice family. I don't want to work 7 days a week, but she knows, and she supports what I do because we know that people out there need our help, and we're here to help. And we've been given a special privilege to practice law in the state of Michigan, and we are going to bring it to full bear for all of you listeners and those who need legal services. And I'm sure Matt and his wife feel the same way.
Most definitely.
But there's no angel wings there. All right, we're going to go back to the phones. We're going to talk to Nancy. Nancy, you're on The Law Show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for taking my call. I just had a question whether or not a lien could be placed on my house for a debt that's in someone else's name and not mine. Cause
no.
This must have happened several years ago. A coworker of mine apparently has used my address and phone number as theirs.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been getting a number of debt-collecting phone calls, and last weekend a note was taped on my door about wanting to serve some papers about a debt. And it's like, my house is paid off. It's in my name. I have nothing to do with this.
No, you cannot be held responsible in any way, shape, or form. But the good news is that you have a lawsuit available to you, should you like to pursue it, against these debt collectors for unfair debt collection practices. Okay, it's a federal law, and each violation is worth $1,000. How would you like to be the recipient of $1,000 for each violation each time they've done anything like this to you? If you'd like
that
to.
would be awesome.
Well, then why don't you call my office during regular business hours at 855-LAW-SHOW and ask for Justin Grove. He is a financial rolling ball of butcher knives. I think they're actually on fire. That guy is awesome. Isn't he something, Matt?
He is. He is the gunner.
He is the gunner. He's racking up victories all over our great land. So you call us on Monday, ask for Justin Grove. He'll make an appointment to come in, for you to come in and see him. We're going to talk with Marge now. Marge, you're on The Law Show.
Hi.
Hi.
I have I don't know if anything can be done. My husband was diagnosed with cancer, and we went to this one doctor. It got better, and then came back. He went to him again. He had a port put in by this doctor that did not know what he was doing. He was a radiologist, and he did the port. It got infected. He got a blood infection. They gave him antibiotics for 2 months. The doctor then did nothing. For 6 months, he did nothing. My husband and I were both in shock. And finally, his nurse said to me, go get another opinion. You need to go to another doctor. So we did. We went to another doctor, and it started to get better, and then something happened inside because when they did that radiation, they fused his colon and his bladder together and did so much damage. It was pathetic.
How's your husband now? How is your husband now?
Well, he came home. This one doctor threw him out of the hospital, and he said he's going to die. So take him home.
Okay.
I wouldn't go to a nursing home.
Die of what? Cancer?
And he died of colon cancer. And the nurse came over, and I told her, don't come. He's fine. And she came anyway. I said, don't give him any morphine. I gave him some this morning. He's allergic to it. He can't take much of it. Just what I gave him to keep him comfortable. And I gave him only that every day. And she gave him 40 milligrams, and he died right then, right on the spot.
Okay, Marge, I'm sorry.
My daughter
Marge, I'm sorry to hear about your loss, and there may very well be a medical malpractice claim there. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to call my office during regular business hours and schedule an appointment to come in and see my new client intake department, Kevin and Michelle, and they will take down all the details, and we'll get an opinion from a doctor that knows what they're doing as to whether or not there was any medical malpractice that would form the basis for a lawsuit, okay? So call us during regular business hours, and we'll answer all those questions. And anybody else that has been the victim of medical malpractice or even legal malpractice, you have to remember that lawyers are just human beings, and sometimes they make mistakes, and they should be responsible for their mistakes no less than anybody else. So I remember when I was a kid, I put somebody's window out with a baseball, and my dad made me work all summer to pay for that window. I actually think he charged me more than it was worth, but it was a good lesson for me to learn to be responsible and to own up to the mistakes that I made. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hold everybody to their mistakes if they do any damage. If they don't do any damage, thank goodness they didn't do any damage. So give us a call during regular business hours, schedule an appointment to see Kevin and Michelle, the intake department, and we'll get all of your answers for you. I'm attorney Brian Dailey. That's America's personal injury attorney, Brian Dailey, broadcasting live on the Law Show Network on News Talk 760 WJR, answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. That's 855-LAW-SHOW. We're going to talk to Charles now.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Charles?
I'm doing well. I have a really quick question for you. I'm actually in Ohio, but I'm listening to WJR out of Toledo, Ohio.
Thank you.
Got my taxes and everything ready to go to claim 3 kids on my taxes. The mother and I don't have anything with the court system on paper to visitation or anything that says I can or not claim my kids. We had a verbal agreement between us saying that, yes, I can claim this year because I am in a completely different tax bracket than she is. She refuses to work, but we won't get into that.
Thank you.
But I'm also slightly behind in my child support, which, economy sucks. I couldn't find a job, but no excuses. But I want to claim them, and she said no. Now, I've already got my taxes done, and essentially I'm waiting to see if I can do this or not and not get in trouble. Because if I claim them, all my arrears will go away, and then she'll get all the money anyway.
All right, let me.
I didn't know if.
Let me just answer it this way.
Okay.
First of all, you have 2 issues. You've got an IRS issue and you got a family law issue, okay? So the IRS, whoever files first is going to get the deductions, right? Whoever files second is going to get their deductions kicked out. So if you know she hasn't filed yet, go ahead and file. But you're going to get into trouble because you're going to have to get this sorted out eventually. And that's where Matt comes in to tell you how to deal with that.
Yeah, well, because like Brian pointed out, Charles, there's the IRS rules that are federal, and then there's the local state rules, and I'm not licensed to practice in Ohio, but, under local Michigan state rules, first of all, let's actually start with the federal rules. Under the federal rules, it depends on where the kids live most of the time. Do the children, you said there are 3 children, is that right, Charles?
That's correct.
And do they live more than half of the year with mom?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so then under federal law, she's entitled to the exemption. However, let's say you can work out a deal with her because was this your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend? Were you guys ever married?
We were never married.
Okay, so what you want to try and do, you said a court order has never been entered that, sets the parenting time and sets custody and all that type of stuff?
No, we over the last 8 or so years, we've actually been very friendly, had a great verbal agreement about how everything's supposed to work, but I've since remarried, wonderful new wife, and they don't like each other, so now she's trying to hold the kids against me.
Ah, yes,
for
the new
whatever
wife.
reason.
Right.
So,
I hear that story all the time.
That's so weird. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Your old wife doesn't like a new
Yeah,
wife?
crazy.
Really?
Same old
Wow.
soul.
No.
Yep. But what you're going to want to do, Charles, is first of all, if you can get an agreement from her that if you say to her, "Hey, listen, if you let me claim the kids this year, and I put all the money toward the arrears," just get everything with her in writing in that. But what you really need to do, Charles, is you need to sit down with a family law attorney and try and get an order entered that confirms when you have parenting time and when you're supposed to claim the kids and when she is. So in the future, if your new wife and her relationship continue to deteriorate, you're protected. Get it in writing, Charles.
Okay. Outstanding. I will make that happen.
Very good. All this has got to take place in Ohio, right? Because that's where it is?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right. Hey, listen, Charles, I really appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you calling and tuning in. I want to encourage all of our brothers and sisters from Ohio also to tune in from Ohio to News Talk 760 WJR on Sunday at 11 a.m. to listen to The Law Show. And if you'd like to listen on Saturday, tune into thelawshow.com and watch us live broadcasting our syndicated show all across the country. It's The Law Show. I'm I'm America's personal injury attorney, Brian Dailey, broadcasting live, answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. That's 855-LAW SHOW. We have lots of callers we got to get through, but we have some messages that we need you to listen to, and we'll be right back.
Watch The Law Show live now at thelawshow.com. The Law Show returns with your calls at 855-LAW SHOW.